Mr. President, the debate is open.
Is there further debate?
Mr. President,
Senator Ruchti,
to debate against the bill.
you have the floor, Senator.
So the issue here is whether we should take three departments that currently are appointed by their commissions or boards rather than the governor. And I think you have to start with, well, why are those three departments treated differently? And the answer is, I think most of us know at this point, is Fish and Game, 1938, when it was established, there was concern about political influence. And I don't mean partisan political influence, although maybe there was some of that back then. It just means political influence, the sort of influence that we like to exert when we have an opportunity, the sort of influence that it's appropriate for us to exert when our constituents come and put pressure on us, or some other special interest puts pressure on us. We sometimes use our political influence to get what they want or to get what we want. But the people of Idaho, when the Department of Fish and Game was established, didn't want that. Transportation. Why would you not want political influence when it comes to transportation? Well, as somebody from Pocatello, which when I was growing up in Pocatello, we were the second biggest city in the state of Idaho. The second biggest city. Now I think we rank 6th or 7th. As things change and your part of the state has less and less population, political influence can make a big difference. Department of Transportation is a good example. What happens when there's so much influence in other parts of the state, southwest Idaho, for example, that those of us in northern Idaho or eastern Idaho, southeast Idaho, when we have transportation needs that we need attention paid to, and there's political influence because we've now changed how the director is chosen, it might be harder for you to get the projects that you need on your end of the state. I think it was wise to make the director chosen by a board. Parks and Rec, you could make the same argument. Will the parks in your portion of the state be treated fairly? That's why we have professional staff at the Department of Parks and Rec. It's okay if the legislature doesn't have control over every department. We still have influence. But that really is the complaint. The complaint is, well, these department heads are established in a system where they are more insulated, not entirely insulated. We can still pass legislation. We can still go talk to the director and the board members, and we can exert some influence. But they are more insulated from political influence because of the way they're established, and now we have complaints that they are acting in a way as though they're insulated from political influence. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way, in the case of Fish and Game, it was set up that way by the people. In the way of Transportation, Parks and Rec, it's to make sure that we protect those resources from political influence. As to Harriman Park, first of all, an unpaid advertisement for Harriman Park. If you've never been there, you're missing out. It's one of the most beautiful places that we have in this state. And we're lucky that this agreement back in 1961 was entered into by the Harrimans in the state of Idaho. The language, and I think this is in section 4, talks about the Park Service, whose personnel should be chosen on the basis of merit alone. Shall be chosen on the basis of merit alone. When we provide consent to an appointment from the governor. And when the governor chooses the individuals to put in front of the Senate, that is not based on merit alone. It's a political appointment. And politics enters into it, even in this body. In fact, this year, there was an individual that came before a committee for consent, and there had been some postings on their social media, and it just made it so that politically it was unwise to provide that appointment, and it was withdrawn. That is the choice of this body. It's the choice of the governor to withdraw those appointments, all based on politics. Not partisan politics per se, although that can enter into it, politics. That's the way that works. So to suggest that having the director of the Department of Parks go through this process would comply with this promise that the state of Idaho made to the Harrimans back in 1961, that the personnel in the Park Service would be chosen on the basis of merit alone, is just not accurate. Politics would enter into that process. It would be inconsistent with that promise. It would be a violation of the promise that the state made to the Harrimans. I don't know whether the Harrimans would sue and try to take the park back. I don't think that's really the point. We made a commitment. We made a promise. And in my mind, there's no statute of limitations on a promise like that from the state of Idaho. We should keep that commitment. We should stand by what we promised the Harrimans, and we should maintain these departments in the manner that they currently are, because it protects them from political influence, and we all of our constituents benefit from it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Is there further debate?
Mr. President,
Senator Anthony.
to debate in favor.
You have the floor, Senator.
Thank you.